Welcome back to Hannity. The feud between Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz is growing, and now both candidates are battling to win the support of Christian voters, the evangelical vote. In an interview with CBN News, Trump called for Christians to come together. Take a look.
You look at Syria, where they're chopping heads off, and it's specifically of Christians and others, but specifically. And Christianity is under siege, David, as you understand very well from covering it so well. And we have to do something. We have to band together, and we have to become stronger as Christians.
Now, Trump took a shot at Senator Ted Cruz by saying he'd be a better candidate for evangelicals. Watch this.
I would say that I will be a far better leader. I'll be much stronger on borders. I'll be much stronger in protecting the evangelicals. I'll be much stronger, much stronger in protecting our country. And I think I'll be a much better person for evangelicals, but also for everybody else.
Now, Senator Cruz takes issue with that, and he has made his faith a key issue on the campaign trail. Take a look.
I became a Christian when I was 8 years old at a church youth camp. And it is an integral part of who I am. And I will tell you, have you noticed Washington and the media, they want us to be ashamed of our faith.
It scares them.
It scares them. And we need to just speak the truth with a smile.
Here now with reaction, Fox News contributor Dr. Robert Jeffers and chief political correspondent for CBN News, David Brody. David, you did the interview with Donald Trump. You've also interviewed Ted Cruz as well, right?
I've interviewed them both, Sean, absolutely.
And so, look, they're all vying, especially for Iowa. You know, a lot of people don't understand this. 33,000 votes could win the entire Iowa caucuses here. So there's a lot at stake. The evangelical vote gave both Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum victories in Iowa in the past. Who do you think's winning, and or as I suspect, is this vote split?
Well, I think it definitely is split. Having said that, look, this is Ted Cruz's race to lose. It's Iowa evangelical, and he has to come in first. And let's be honest here, Sean, if Donald Trump, first of all, if Donald Trump wins Iowa, it's huge, as he would say. But even if he comes in second, that is a huge victory for Donald Trump, considering the last time I checked, everybody thought he'd be out of the race 6 months ago. So look, if he goes 2 in Iowa and 1 in New Hampshire, that's a great play for Donald Trump. Look, the bottom line here on all of this, Sean, is that Donald Trump is playing to the sick and tired evangelical voter, and there are plenty of them. They're frustrated with the Republican establishment. They feel like they're political pawns in their game, and they're done with it, and they think Trump speaks to all of that.
What do you think, Dr. Jeffers, on this issue? Because I know people like yourself. We had Jerry Falwell on last night. He didn't fully endorse Donald Trump, but had a lot of great things to say about him and how he uses his faith in action in ways that people don't know about, where Ted Cruz is a more traditional evangelical, I would argue. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it is, Sean. Look, evangelicals, especially in Iowa, are conflicted between Trump and Cruz because each candidate represents qualities evangelicals are looking for. They're drawn to Trump because they sense he's strong, especially on national security and the economy. They like the fact that he's a political outsider. But they're also drawn to Cruz because of his strong personal faith and his consistent record on conservatism. Ultimately, beating Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders is the holy grail for evangelicals, and whichever candidate demonstrates the ability to do that best, I think will win the lion's share of the evangelical vote.
Well, David, I'll ask you this question. Do you think, going back to the last election in 2012, Mitt Romney was LDS, Latter-day Saints? Do you think some evangelicals stayed home because of that?
Yes, I don't think there's any question about that. Having said that, you know, it's all about the energy. It's not just about evangelicals staying home. Obviously, there are the numbers there, but it's also about getting involved in the communities and getting the word of mouth. And, you know, Donald Trump right now has that word of mouth, if you will. He has the it factor. I don't think there's any question about it. Ted Cruz is trying to gain the it factor, but let's remember, Sean, you know, Donald Trump comes in with a distinct advantage right from the get-go here when he started this campaign back in June. And that is that he already had a narrative, and that narrative is he's a successful guy.
Dr. Jeffers, do you agree with this, that if David is right, that maybe some people had a problem with LDS, which I think is unfair to Governor Romney, would they have a problem with either Trump or Cruz in a general election?
They may have, but look, what Cruz is saying is he's going to energize those disaffected evangelicals who stayed at home. The Trump officials are telling me that in Iowa, when they have a rally, they ask, how many of you have caucused before? They say 20% say they've never caucused before. The Trump people are saying they are going to inject new people into the system, which would be a great win for Donald Trump.
All right, guys, thank you. And both of you could support either one. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I'm a journalist. I'm not supporting anybody.
You better support somebody other than Hillary, or else you're off the show forever. No, I'm kidding.